Hi friends, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here today at the Stamps by Me studio to create amazing projects with the Amala range. Today I'm going to be using Along the Shore. This is a beautiful stamp that can either be used as a background or it can be your main focal point. And what I'm going to teach you today is using partial pieces of the stamp. So really simple. My first port of call is I just got some ink on basically, and I'll show you how you can do that. Very simple, just in one way, and I am going to ink over the top after, but I'm going to do some clear embossing on that. The way you create this sort of dusty style of inking is you just need one of the Stamps by Me blending brushes. Pick up, I'm using Tumbled Glass and Stormy Sky, circle on there, and then you're just going to build up that colour. So simple, so easy to use, but we will be coming back to this colour work in just a second, but I just wanted to show you how simple it is to create your base colour. So next what we're going to do is I'm going to take this beautiful stamp of Along the Shore, and what I want to do is only use the cloud part. So I'm going to use my other piece of paper as a mask to keep it nice and clean. So I'm just going to stamp just on the top area like this. So I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to be stamping using grey. Now the reason why I'm using grey is because then it's not as harsh, but also it still carries the silhouette perfectly. So I'm just touching over that with a little tad of grey, and I will be embossing with clear embossing powder after. So I'm just going to tap that straight on there, really simple, and you can see how beautiful it is. Next I'm going to move the paper down, take my stamp, and I'm not going to do it exactly the same again because otherwise it will look too uniform, but what I am going to do is slightly offset them clouds now and pop it to the side. Very simple. Pick up your stamp, re-ink again. It's just using partial pieces of the stamp rather than the whole stamp as we usually do. So just make sure that piece of paper isn't covering up the area you want to stamp. And again, fingertip dancing over the top. Move it down slightly. And just stamp again. Again, just pick it up. And it doesn't matter if it's slightly offset off your Eureka, you can still stamp perfectly with it. So again, we just add that ink. Then we just stamp over the design. And it's nice to have not all the stamps showing, so you have that sort of, so it looks more natural. So again, just pull that off and you can see how we're doing with this. Now I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of clear embossing powder. Now I don't actually want it raised, I want it more like a resist. So now when I add heat to it, okay, so now I'm going to come back to that scrap piece of paper that I was showing you before, and we're just going to build up some more ink work. So I've got two brushes. My first one I'm going to take is the Stormy Sky. Now these are self-cleaning brushes, so you really have no need to buy multiple brushes because it all does what it says on the tin, which is brilliant. So I'm just using that Stormy Sky around the edge, just a little bit here and there, and you're mixing these colours together as you're blending them. So again, a little bit more Stormy Sky just to build up that colour on that side, but you still want white patches in it. You don't want to go too heavy with your colour straight away. If you do lighter layers, it's a lot more easier to blend. If you go straight in hard with a dark deep colour, then you've got nowhere else to go with it. But if you build it up lighter, a lot more simpler. So now I'm going onto the tumbled glass. Pick this up. Again, just fill in that detail and blend that colour away. This is a brilliant stamp. There's so many usages you can use this stamp for because it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. So now I'm going to go across and I'm going to pick up a little bit of watercolour. I'm using the Himi Moist paints and I've already started to create my grey up here. So I'm mixing grey and white together with a little tad of green, not too much, just to take the harshness out of it. Then I'm just going to come over to my artwork and start painting. So all I'm doing is just sort of shadowing, really, encouraging the colour that you have already, because you don't want to make it a solid colour because it's a cloud, but just adding that little touch of detail. I mean, you could add glitter to this, it'd be beautiful. Simply gorgeous. And you're just highlighting with the darker colour to get that different layer. A little bit of water. Now this is watercolour card that I started on, but even though you can't see the resist, it's there, so I know that I'm still going to have that clean image every time. So again, now just a little hints of colour. Then I'm going to go back with a wet brush and just blend some of that out. Very, very simple. Clouds are beautiful. There's just something about painting clouds, you know, whether they're dark stormy clouds or whether they're fresh summer weather clouds. It's just so much fun. And it's therapy because, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. So it's great. It makes you feel happy. So I'm just going to add a little tad more colour on there like so. Then I'm just going to go into a tad of blue, but not too much. Now I'm going to pick it up, put it on the palette, pick up a little bit of white just to mix in, and then I'm just going to do almost like a halo around the edges. Really simple. Now on top of this, now I'm just going to grab my fan brush. Here it is. Now I'll just get a large chisel and I'm just going to wet it and I'm just going to slightly tap it over. Just not too heavy. You don't want too much heavy waterwork, and obviously not too much on your clouds, more of the space around it. So I'm just going to pick up a little tad of water. Then I'm just going to dry that out very, very simply. Now, if you've not done waterwork before and you're thinking to yourself, well, every time I apply heat to any waterwork, I just get raindrops that go across. What you need to do is make sure your heat is above and you're not moving it. You're just keeping it in one position. Then that stops the runs. It's a lot easier. So there we go, that's ready to go now. I'll just move that out of the way. And now I've added in a stenciled piece of background paper that I've stenciled using the beautiful Distress inks. Now this is a brand new sentiment that is from the new range, chapter 11, which comes the 31st of October. And this sentiment comes from Walks Like Rain. Absolutely beautiful, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And I'm just going to add this to my main cardstock now. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back. Place it onto my base card. Add that sentiment. Add a little tad more glue in that corner. There we go. Quick and simple, just using along the shore. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the cloud inspiration and I look forward to seeing your projects. Take care.